Thank you, Marn.
Party on, dudes.
Greetings and welcome to another thrilling and exciting episode of the Planetary Persuader. I'm KozMcKev, your host. This is for the weekend beginning the 15th of November through the 22nd of November 2019. So what's interesting about this week is in the sidereal or Vedic zodiac, the sun actually goes into Scorpio. I think Saturday night would be, yes, by Saturday, anyhow. And so on the 16th, and so, you know, if you're born on the 16th, you're an actual Scorpio. If you're born on the 15th, you're kind of a Libra Scorpio. Yeah. Yep, that's right. So, because in the sidereal zodiac you would be. But so where's the moon at? Where would we find our shrinking moon? Our moon is in the constellation of Gemini. Oh my goodness. And I think it's most likely moving through the lunar mansion most of the day known as Ardra. And Ardra is ruled by the north node of the moon. Ardra's ruling deity is Rudra, which is another guise of Shiva, but it's all about wailing and howling. And Ardra is also known as the teardrop. And oh, wouldn't it be nice if the rain was falling? Because we really need rain up here in Northern California right now. So that would be sweet if that was happening. And it means green or moist. And there could be, you know, a lot of emotional upset with Moon and Ardra, from what I understand. But it's like, it's good to have that emotional release, because sometimes we need it. And since it's kind of opposite of where Jupiter is, they say where Jupiter is now, in Mula Nakshatra, there's a lot of the mysteries and truth of the earth, and that a lot of people who are born in Ardra Nakshatra are very saintly and spiritual, and that these two have an amazing relationship, Mula and Ardra, of spirituality and saintliness and giving. So that's the benefit of all of this. Now in Western astrology we'd say we got a moon in Cancer from 8:15 a.m. on, so through the weekend. What a fun weekend too. It just looks like it's going to be a delightful weekend with Sun in Scorpio and Moon in Cancer most of it, and Moon will trine the Sun on Sunday morning at 4:53 a.m. So there's just like this nice harmonious energy, and you know, Cancer Moon during Scorpio time is wonderful. And so we'll feel this kind of, you know, this nice creative, empathetic sort of vibe this weekend. Who couldn't use some of that? Now, other changes in the galactic is we've got Mercury's going direct on Wednesday. So we've got a direct Mercury on Wednesday, so that's going to make things a little bit better, especially on a Mercury day at 11:12 a.m. that happens. So then you can go out now and buy all your technical Christmas shopping stuff. Yeah, and you know, we'll end off this week Friday morning at 7. The sun goes into Sagittarius on the 22nd. So if you're born before 7 on the 22nd, you'll be Scorpio in both systems. And you know, most of you born this week are going to be Scorpio in both systems. That is amazing. So what does that mean? You know, Scorpio has the highest highs, lowest lows of the zodiac. In the Vedic astrology, we associate it with moksha, with liberation, but it's also tamasic, dealing with, you know, stuck energy that we have to get rid of, like fixed water, you know, like a stagnant pond. So, you know, we need to detoxify and clear ourselves out. So, with that said, sign by sign, getting into your horoscope here, starting with you, Aries. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Mars is in the 7th house. Now, one thing about the houses, the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th, these angular houses, you actually have more conscious power of how to use the energy of the planet. So this week, it's like Mars in the 7th house. It's the house of relationships. And so, but it's going to go into the 8th house, into Scorpio on Monday night. Boom. Whoa. Which is more intensified relationship, deals with other people's property, deals with occult studies. But it's going to feel more like, okay, I'm moving forward. I don't feel as neutralized, and so there'll be kind of a more steadfast energy as Mars moves into Scorpio this week for you. And so you're kind of like, you're not being so much confronted by open enemies to where you're like, well, I'm impatient to get paid, or I need to get out of debt and take care of this before I move on to my next getting into debt. That's usually how we work in America. We go from debt to debt. We get out a little while, we feel briefly really good, and then, I don't know, something else happens. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, all the money we have is noticed as a debt anyhow, so the whole thing's just based on something fake that we all agree upon. How does that work? We're hypnotized, people. Let me tell you, we're all under a big spell. And that's the truth. And, Jupiter and Venus in your 9th house, you're still lucky in love, and you've got strong career energy with Saturn there, able to make good, reasonable, logical decisions. Your imagination's good with Neptune in the 12th house. You can use it in your prayer life to help other people. That's what I try to do every morning. I just lift up everyone that I know, and it's like, say, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be free of cares, may they be safe. It's a pretty standard Buddhist prayer from what I heard, but, it's okay. I saw the BBC documentary, Jesus Might Have Been a Buddhist, so we're all sharing things, we're sharing. Some people call it appropriation. It doesn't become appropriation unless you're making money off of it, So far that hasn't happened, so let's see. Taurus, greetings, welcome your horoscope. Uranus in the 1st house, things are still unpredictable. Of course, Uranus is retrograde. So it's like maybe within you, there's a little storm of like, oh, I need some inspiration. Mars moving into your 7th house this week, it just makes relationships more interesting. And it makes people that openly were confronting you, well, maybe they back off a little bit and they get a little bit friendlier about it. And then there's a deliciousness to sexuality, to magic, and the occult studies, even studying Tantra with Jupiter and Venus in the 8th house. And, who wouldn't want to have a good time for longer, right? You could learn how to do that, Taurus. I see that, and it'll be fun. It'll be more fun. We want to be fun. Ever happened to fun? Fun is not politically correct, no. I don't know. Fun is not political. Well, not very few things are. And now it'll be a good weekend for you this weekend, and you're going to make things happen in a good way. So, enough said. We're going to go to Gemini. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. Oh, and the good news. Mercury is no longer retrograde. Ta-da! Well, it won't be after the 20th, okay? It's still retrograde, but it's going to go direct on the 20th. And I think did I say 11:12 a.m.? Yes, indeed, I did. And so that should make some of your health situations should start improving. Some of this hard work you've been doing, it's going to start getting better. You're going to become more focused on relationships, and they're good relationships. Shoot, man, you got Venus and Jupiter in the 7th house. I mean, this is make friends. If you've been out of the girlfriend or boyfriend department and you want to make something happen in that area, just be open to good things and try and see in people's souls their good qualities. I mean, physical attributes definitely help. They sort of enhance things, It's like seasoning. It tastes so much better. But a lot of it's fake too. A lot of people's physical attributes these days are fake. I was on like a dating app, and I was just shocked at how many of these women used to be men at one time. I was just like, what? I'm like, whoa. I'm just going, okay, that's a real head turner to me. I mean, it's, well, technology, it allows people to do some interesting things to themselves, And in the words of some of those people, it saves their life. And so who am I to argue? I don't know. I'm glad that they're happier, though. Happy people are less work, So we want people to be happy. Besides the people selling the drugs to them and doing the surgery, yeah, they're very happy. I get it. Yikes. So anyhow, we've got Pluto and Saturn in the 8th house. It's kind of a difficult thing that you've dealt with. And it's been ongoing. But I think with Jupiter and Venus in the 7th house now, and now that Mercury's direct after Wednesday, things are going to get a little better, a little happier. And then we come to you. Good old Cancer here with the Ardra moon. And it's like, okay, we just got over that full moon, and we're okay. We're still here. We're all right. We're going to get over Mercury retrograde. I promise. It's going to get better. And everything for you is other people. I said this last week. It's like you have this interfacing in relationships. And they've been difficult relationships because of the South Node and Saturn and Pluto over there. And then we've got Neptune, though, in the 9th house. And Scorpio time, for Cancer is usually a happy time. It gets you in your heart space. It helps you with your children. It helps you with lovers. It helps you with creative projects and performance. All these things are desirable. And there's a lot of really fun, exciting parties and shows and stimulating things to go out to and enjoy. And so I imagine you're going to be out there getting stimulated and enjoying things, because that's what we do. We get stimulated and we enjoy things. So, here we go. Greetings, Leo. And welcome to your horoscope. Okay. So it's like showtime. So I talked about it last week. Scorpio is about your 4th house, which is where your happiness is, your relationship to your mother, your relationship to older adults, your household, fixed assets. Should you sell your house? Should you buy a house? Should you sell your car? Should you buy a car? These are the issues. Now, Mars has been moving through your 3rd house, which gives you a lot of courage, and it's a great place, and sometimes you need to fix a car or a vehicle when it does that transit. Now it's in the 4th house, so maybe you're ready to buy that vehicle or you're going to sell it. And then there's Venus and Jupiter in the 5th house, giving so much creativity, so much love, and you're like this open-hearted Leo, just being as loving as possible. I mean, unless you're my ex. Then you're holed up in a trailer, guarded, and ghosting people. Shit. Yeah. Well, anyhow, we've got Pluto and Saturn in the 6th house, and you're dealing with health issues, and things are going to get better, especially with Mercury starting to move direct. A lot of these things are going to improve. It just takes time, and and relationships are not easy for Leos anyhow because of having a Saturn rulership in your 7th house. I mean, it's like, are you going to make it for the long term? Is it going to last? It's not like they don't get into relationships so easily, because they do, because they're friendly and fun. They're often very attractive people. But, and then Neptune in the 8th house, focusing on your spiritual life. It doesn't hurt. It really helps. And in the work front, things are a lot more exciting, unpredictable. There can be really quick changes, and you just have to be ready for them. And, with Moon and North Node in the House of Loss this weekend, I just say this is a good weekend just for you to lay low. Go ahead and lay low. Lay low. Well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, of course, the good news for any Mercury-ruled sign is that Mercury is moving direct as of Wednesday late Wednesday morning, which Wednesdays are Mercury days anyway, and so that makes it a much more auspicious Mercury direct. And the thing is about Mercury retrogrades is that Mercury's actually closer to the Earth, so we're actually getting that effect of what Mercury is, the consciousness. Stay conscious, and it's just reminding us. And then when we don't, Mercury pulls us back in line and says, nope, that wasn't a good move. You shouldn't have just bought that on impulse. Just chill, and it's hard to chill when a planet like Mercury or Venus is motivating you to do something, because even though we have this kind of like lazy association with Venus, or this indecisive association with Virgo, or with Mercury rather, or Gemini, this duplicity, both of these planets are, at least in my knowledge of Indian astrology, is they're rajasic. They have a lot of passion behind them. They want things. They want to make things. Mercury wants money. Venus wants love. And so these things are getting in line, but they're like getting in line to have a more spiritual kind of love that you take into your heart, that heart of happiness, and that your difficulties that have been really hard on you and hard on your heart, and bless my heart of my ex, she's a beautiful person. She just went through a lot of stuff, had to get rid of crazy me. And, there's a lot of insights coming, and there's this beautiful opening, and love coming to you that should be very healing and incredible. And so I'm glad to see that's happening, and that you can approach relationship now from a much more spiritual perspective. And realize that, you have a social life. It's a good time to socialize this weekend. It's going to be a really fun weekend for Virgo. Okay. Greetings, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So, Venus and Jupiter are together in your third house, house of friends, house of siblings. It's also a house of like craftiness and creative projects where you work with your hands. Whether you're playing piano or violin, or you're doing some painting or an artwork, or you're writing poetry or a story, all of this stuff is great. And all of this stuff, it's going to be fulfilling, and it's workable, it's doable. Some of the limitations in your own household and situation, well, they're just going to be ongoing for a little while, but they're kind of slowly getting better. As the South Node moves, as Saturn moves away from the South Node, and South Node moves away from Saturn, they're getting ready to part ways, and, things are rough for now. You got to deal with the calamity and all, but we'll be back. We'll be back in a better form. We do have to take care of health issues. We do have to see our ability to be inspired by the occult, by magic, by positive thinking, sexuality in all its forms. We've got to be able to think about those things. And then, career opportunities might even come up this weekend, spontaneously for you. Friday, Saturday, even Sunday morning. Well, hello, Scorpio, and happy birthday to you if you're a Scorpio having a birthday this week in the later part. And I've heard the later part of Scorpio is the more mystical, spiritual part, so that sounds good. I could see that with Vishaka and Anuradha in a lot of ways. There's this whole moving out of just pure ambition to spiritual light. We've tried. Our gains need to now go to a place where they can be shared and help other people. And so you've got Sun, Mercury, and eventually Mars in your first house. So what's going to happen is you're going to get this burst of energy after Tuesday, and it's going to carry you through the rest of the year, basically. It's like, boom. You got stuff to do, and you're going to do it. And it's going to work out amazingly well. And so that motivation is going to help you. And it's going to help your vitality. It's going to help your health. And you're still in this great place for making money with Venus and Jupiter. And you've got Pluto and Saturn in the third house, along with the South Node. So, limits you've had with siblings or close friends. Sometimes, especially as we get older, get more middle-aged and we have other responsibilities, really harder to maintain those friendships as easily as they were before when we're young and don't have families and all those other things. Our friends become our family. It's so fun. But it's a good weekend for travel for Scorpio. If you wanted to get out there, see something, treat yourself, do something nice. You're spiritually motivated, in your heart. You really want things to get better. And I see that. And you might be surprised, There could be surprises even in the relationship realm come into your life. Like, wow, I never thought I'd meet somebody this cool. It's cool. Be open to it. Okay. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So yeah, everything's about vision and it's about faith. And this week shouldn't be quite as bad as the other weeks. I mean, there's still a chance of loss and karma, and it's a good idea to lay low. But, I think things are just kind of settling down for you. And you've got Venus and Jupiter in the first house. What could possibly go wrong? Good things, good things are there for you. And even if you do experience some loss or some kind of calamity, there's going to be good fortune from it. It's going to create something. It's like, running out of gas and finding $500 bills on the ground, it's just like, wow, this is going to fill my tank and then some. It's that kind of situation. I mean, it's not necessarily for sure going to go that way, all right? I need to qualify it. So you said that this would... No, I mean, it was an analogy. It was an allegory of some sort. It was a story. It was a made-up story tale. I mean, you still have a lot of karma to deal with. And Mars in the 12th house is not fun necessarily. So there might be people that you might have unconsciously sloughed off, and they're back for revenge. In secret though, because they're afraid of you. People do things in secret when they're afraid or if they want to generate fear. Fear is a power, but it's nothing compared to the power of love. And that's a power that will heal everything. And, I mean, I guess when people aren't open to it, it's difficult. But I want to stay on that light side, that love side, because things will get better. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. Here you're dealing with Saturn, which gives us either jewels or dust. So what Saturn likes is discipline, honesty, hard effort, helping poor people, wearing black and dark blue, that for some reason, especially on a Saturday, doing things to help the poor, especially with things that are black or dark blue on a Saturday is it's a really good remedy. It will help you if you've had some difficulty. And, your karma on the 12th house of losses, I mean, there's all this spiritual energy of Jupiter and Venus that really wants to direct you towards a godly path. And then you have this active social life, like Scorpio is like a really good friend that you benefit from, generally speaking. And so there's some really positive energy for Capricorn right now. And I think like one of the keys to healing is being in your heart. Like one of the keys to like good meditation is get in your heart. It's like to be in front of the Divine Mother or the Heavenly Father in just, in your grief, in your vulnerability, in your heart, what you're really feeling. And that's what brings that beautiful light that shines through all the darkness. So this weekend is actually a good romantic weekend for Capricorn because of the moon being in your 7th house. There with the North Node. So there could be some kind of healing, some kind of upliftment that happens for you this weekend. And you got spiritual friends, your siblings might be, one of them might be in a cult, I don't know. But you could, you can make your own holy cards or something. People that you think are divine. I love these things on like dating apps. Is if you could have dinner with somebody, who would you like to be? And it's, and there's all these people that say it's President Obama or something, and I don't know, it's really hard to say. But, sometimes I would like, in my meditation, sometimes think if I could, have a conversation with the Blessed Master, with like Jesus, like sit back, Jesus having tea, I'm having tea, we're talking to each other, we're squaring things out. What would you think of this? And it's, the Blessed Master wants to give pure love to people. That's all it really comes down to. Wants healing, wants a sense of righteousness, and we can give that to ourselves in many ways. So let's go over to Aquarius. Okay, greetings Aquarius, welcome to your horoscope. So Saturn's still in the 12th house with Pluto in South Node. So, you're still reaping the karma of someone who's like, hey, I'm not going to make it easy on you. I'll be honest with you. But through this hard work and effort, there's going to be a transformation, Pluto. There's going to be a change. And through listening to your subconscious, paying attention to your spiritual life and your prayer life, South Node, you're going to lift things up. Things are actually going to move forward for you. So that's the good news. Uranus in the 4th house, there's like this need to revitalize how you work with your living space, what your relationship to your parents are, what your relationship to housemates are. Career-wise, things get better. Mars moves into your 10th house this week. So, your Mercury goes direct. All these things happen, and it's like, it's making sense. Things are coming together. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be okay. And, you have great friends with Jupiter and Venus in your 11th house. It's an Aquarian dream come true. Come on now. All right, so greetings Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope as we're winding it all up here. You're visionary. And this is a time where we really need more visionaries. And the visionariness is expressed in your 1st house with Neptune. It's expressed in your 10th house with Jupiter right now. And Venus is there too. So that artistic, creative side of you gets to be expressed even further. So you've got good things. You've got friends still that are going through difficult times, hard issues. And yet there's this sort of sense of healing. There's this progress being made, being worked upon to help bring more justice, to help make things better. It's a great weekend for travel for you. All the water signs, great weekend for travel and exploration. And Scorpio is teaching you so many good things. And you're ready for the adventure, and you're ready to give back, to help other people. You're a compassionate soul, and people see that compassion and they benefit from it. And we need people like you, and I'm glad that you're here. And I really appreciate that you watched this video and try to make sense of a horoscope. And if you only know your sun sign, that's okay. They kind of work. If you know your rising sign and you go by your rising sign, you're going to get a much more accurate horoscope. If you know your moon sign, you can throw that in there too, and you'd be surprised. The moon has some amazing things to say as well. So thanks for being with me. Like I said, share, like, tell a friend. I love your comments. Let's do this again next week. Love being with you. KozMcKev of the Cosmic Forecast of the Planetary Persuader. I am out. Okay. We done good.
You made it.
I made it.